and Osei Bempa shared 15 votes. The elected parliamentary candidate Ernest Enim called on all contestants to support his bid to win the Kumawu by-election.
It was a close contest, but MPP is the winner. We have a winner. I congratulate Ernest. And like we said, we pledge to support him. I'm happy he has won. Congrats to him.
Congratulations to Ernest. He's done it. He's done it for Kumawu. We will all support him. It was a good experience. I mean, it's my first time, and I think I made a little bit of impact, but all the best to Ernest, and we will all support him to take the seat to retain the seat. So congratulations to Ernest.
From this moment, I dissolve my campaign team, and I'm committed to forming an inclusive campaign team that will bring together everyone from the divide so that we can collectively fight for the battle ahead of us. I know my people believe in my vision, and my vision is to bring everyone together. And I believe that as we are committed to ensuring peace, everybody following me will be shipped in line, and we would all come together and understand that this victory is not just for Ernest Enim or my group, but for everybody who is a party member of our great party here. I know my people believe in me, and they are committed to ensuring that we work together as one unit. I believe that once we work as a unit, victory will be our portion. Kumawu, as we all know, is an MPP seat, and once party members are committed to ensuring that we are working together, I believe that victory would be on a silver platter for us.
We'll be going to Kumawu shortly, but before then, former President John Mahama says the 2024 election is critical to the NDC and the party will not leave any stone unturned to win it. According to him, their political opponents, the NPP, is already feeling jittery, a reason it has appointed some of its sympathizers to the Electoral Commission. He says the NDC remains resolute with the intention of going into the elections with its referee to ensure an undisputed defeat of the NPP. John Mahama said this in his address to the party supporters during his Greater Accra regional tour.
This election is a critical one for us. It's a do or die affair for us. And we're not going to leave any stone unturned to win this election. We don't want to cheat anybody, and we don't want anybody to cheat us. I know that the MPP is feeling jittery, and that is why they are nominating and appointing their foot soldiers to become commissioners of the EC. But like I said, we're going to be like Azuma Nelson. We're going to take our referee into the ring. When we knock them down, there's no referee who will come and say that we didn't win the election. And when coming to office, I've promised that we're going to amend the constitution. And one of the things we're going to do is that commissioners, people who are appointed to the Electoral Commission, must go through parliamentary approval. We must vet them. If we vetted these people, Dr. Pierre Hine's long record as an MPP foot soldier would have come out. And the president would have been advised to know that that is not a proper person to appoint onto the commission. Aside from that, Parliament has told the Commission that if you use only the Ghana card, you are going to disenfranchise people. And yet, I don't know what stubbornness, has possessed that Commission. What Beshi is in there, that all they know is Ghana card, that's it. And so they are determined to bring that same CI. When we come into office, we'll do a constitutional amendment that allows Parliament to debate and amend constitutional instruments, so that no constitutional body can just ride roughshod over Parliament. Parliament is the representatives of the people. and their opinions must be factored into anything. CIs cannot just be automatic instruments that anybody just brings. In our constitution, there are checks and balances. That's why there are checks and balances. Yes, we say the Electoral Commission should be independent, but it doesn't mean that there's some commission living in Jupiter and can just pass any constitutional instrument that it wants. And so we will amend the constitution to make sure that Parliament can properly put its input into any constitutional instrument before it is passed into law.
Mr. Mahama says, unlike the NPP, the NDC has the men to turn Ghana's economy around.
Our country is in crisis. We need experience to bring it back on its feet. And by God's grace, NDC has the men. Some people said they had the men. We didn't know they were area boys. They have destroyed this economy. They've destroyed this country. They were supposed to be a very solid economic management team, and yet they have run the economy into a ditch. When they were borrowing and were telling them, they didn't understand. In the 4 years that we worked, all the things that we did, all the development projects, when I was president, we used only 54 billion cedis. And when we left office, our total debt from the governments before me to when I left was 120 billion. And in 6.5 years, you've taken it from 120 billion to almost 600 billion. And yet our road networks are so poor. People don't get water to drink. We expanded Pong by 40 million gallons. By the time we finished the Pong expansion, parts of Accra that did not have water started to get water. Adenta hadn't got water for 25 years until NDC came into office. They started to get water. Today, if you go to Adenta, they get water only once a week. And yet when we're leaving office, their pipes were busting because the pressure was too high. And so everything has its end. And Ghanaians say, NDC, we want you to come back and put Ghana back on its feet, put Tema back on its feet, and take us out of the hardship.
Still on the NDC, flag bearer hopeful Dr. Kwabena Dufo says cassava alone can change Ghana's economic situation within a year. Speaking in an interview on ATL FM during his tour of the Central region, he said Ghana is not poor, but is in this economic situation because of bad management of the country's resources. He's been telling members of the NDC to vote for him on 13th May to lead the party.
You see, we are so lucky. The Creator loves Ghana. We have huge resources. If anybody tells you this country is poor, he's lying. Our natural resources, in particular, our mineral resources alone can turn this country around if we manage that particular subsector well. Gold, the other minerals. How much do you get from gold? If you look into what we call balance of payments, supposed to export $7 billion a year, how much do we get from this? How much of this touches our cash flow or comes back to Ghana? So we have the resources, young man. We are not a poor country. If we can say poor, we are poor because of the way we are managing our resources. Okay? Cassava alone can turn this country around within a year.
Within a year?
Of course, yes. Go to Nigeria. It's a Nigerian firm that has signed an agreement with an American firm. This particular Nigerian firm, by 2028, we're exporting $6.5 billion of cassava products to the U.S. market. And for cassava, we are next to Nigeria in terms of the potential or capacity, whatever. The whole world, we are number 5, cassava. We have the resources. We are not a poor country. We have the resources. I will not spend a lot of time looking at these taxes. I'll focus on the extractive sector, where we have the gold, we have the oil. You understand?
Let's return now to Kumawu in the Ashanti region, where Nanaya Ojima is joining us via Zoom. Nanaya, so following Enim's victory speech, how would you describe the mood among the party members and supporters in his request for a united party towards the election?
So far, after the results were declared, you could see excited or jubilant supporters of both parties, or of all people, all the people who were there as delegates and other party members who were at the election grounds. All of them together were in jubilant mood. So far, the messages have all been hinged on unity within the party, because the Kumawu constituency is naturally or traditionally it's the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, but due to divisions within the party, whenever they are going to election, the party suffer, or the electoral fortunes of the party suffer. So, for instance, in 2020, the independent candidate, Mr. Kokudia, was able to pull about 11,000 votes, whilst the New Patriotic Party member of parliament, or the member of parliament, that is Philip Aswa, was able to pull 14,000 votes, 3,000 votes difference. This is unusual when it comes to the Kumawu constituency. So, in order to win and win the seat convincingly, the NPP will need to present a united front, and this is what they've started, and they are working towards ensuring, that the party is united for the by-election, which comes up on the 23rd of May. That's next month.
Right. I mean, with the other candidates, especially Sewa and Mr. Dr. Da Costa, I mean, already they've considered defeat, but do you know whether they've conferred with this, with Mr. Enim on how to move forward united?
So immediately after the election, I saw all of them going to Mr. Enim to congratulate him. And in the interview I had with all of the losing aspirants, they declared their support for Mr. Enim. They said that the Kumawu NPP has suffered divisiveness for a very long time. So they would want to come together and ensure that the party unites for victory. Now, Mr. Enim, on his part, in an interview that I had with him, said that he was willing and prepared to bring all of them on board. Immediately after the election, he dissolved his campaign team, and he believes that that is the first step towards ensuring that the party unites. And he says that he's going to build an all-inclusive campaign to help his bid to become the member of parliament for the Kumawu constituency. So far, among the various aspirants for the election, they are yet to sit and officially have conversations among them and strategize on how they are going to win the seat for the New Patriotic Party. But from all indications, from the speeches and from the interviews that we had at Kumawu today, it looks like all of the aspirants, the losing ones, and also the parliamentary candidates who have now been elected are willing to work together to ensure that they deliver victory in the third day.
Thank you very much, Nanaya Ojima. And Nanaya Ojima is with our sister station Love FM in Kumasi. Away from that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia says the National Chief Imam Osmanu Nuhu Shaibutu symbolizes peace, kindness and humbleness as he celebrates 104 years today. Born 23rd April 1919, Sheikh Nuhu Shaibutu is an Islamic cleric who also currently serves as a member of the National Peace Council. He was first appointed the Deputy Regional Chief Imam in 1974 after a lengthy discussion among tribal chiefs, academics, Islamic scholars and religious personalities. Extolling his virtues, the Vice President said the Chief Imam commands the respect of all. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo earlier today paid a surprise visit to the National Chief Imam at his residence at Fadama in Accra. Spokesperson for the Chief Imam, Sheikh Arimiyal Shaibu, spoke on behalf of the Chief Imam.
We are expressing our profound thanks and appreciation to His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for deciding to surprise the eminent National Chief Imam this early morning to wish him well when he's celebrating his birthday. That is the 104th birthday of his life. And his message was very simple. He got to know that Chief Imam was going to celebrate his 104th birthday, and he decided, having to know the Chief Imam and the volume of respect, the reverence and the courtesies that he accords to the Chief Imam, he thought that it was very befitting that he comes to wish the Chief Imam well, more long life and blessings of his life, good health, happiness and felicity of his life. The President indicated what he appreciates about the value of the Chief Imam to the nation. The Chief Imam has conducted himself as to represent the source of peace and harmony for this country, not the peace and harmony alone, but even a source and inspiration for interfaith relationship, how the Chief Imam relates and he inspires us to live at peace with all other people of other faith. That is what the President emphasized, and that he associates that kind of value to the leadership of the eminent National Chief Imam. In response, the Chief Imam has also expressed his appreciation more on a note of prayer. He prayed for him, for the President, for long life, for good health, for inspiration. He has prayed that God should inspire him with the best of ideas that can translate into policies that will bring happiness to all Ghanaians. The Chief Imam has prayed for the nation to continue to be in peace. Also prayed for the protection of our nation, that any person who will be a source of evil to our country, may God clear him off, that he never even enters into our country. But any person who also brings something of benefit to our country, God must open the door for him. He prayed for more bounty, not for the President alone, but for his spouse and indeed his family. He prayed for the family and all members of the family. He said, may God pour down the rain of blessings in their lives severally and individually. And that he hopes that he will also live within the period left for him as in his tenure, that he will end up on a very successful note. He prayed for more good health of the body, strength of the body and mind and spirit, that he should continue to lead this country. And so on my own behalf, on behalf of the eminent Chief Imam, I also add mine and say, look, I am very appreciative, very, very appreciative. The reverence and the filial relationship that he has been demonstrating to the Chief Imam is something that we appreciate very well. And President, we are thankful to you. Thank you for all your support. I must add that even with the issue with the Deeper Life Church, where we prayed yesterday, we have been told that it is by the intervention of the President that we reached some understanding. And then we were allowed to celebrate yesterday. The Christian community there, the Deeper Life, allowed us. In fact, they also gave us their public arrest system to use, and it was something that we appreciate. So the intervention of the President is something that we add value, and also we are happy and hope that this will be a basis for future good relationship between Muslims and Christians in the country.
Board Chairman of Wengo Family International, an NGO focused on fighting suicide, Jerry Kwabena Ando, is calling on government to make funding available to institutions that offer mental health care to ensure they efficiently perform their role. Speaking at the media launch of the 5-year anniversary celebration, the Riango family indicated that suicide can be curbed if counseling in senior high schools is taken seriously.
This clarion call on government that we thank Parliament and government for how far we have come. It is indeed it's a breakthrough for suicide activism that now it is no more a criminal offense to want to feel that you want to commit suicide. We want to also then tell government that now that we have removed the cap, it is now that government, we are appealing to government to ensure that all the state agencies that are supposed to take care of suicide and mental health is actually strengthened. Because I believe that if I have suicide ideation, it could even lead to a full-blown mental health problem for me. But what do we see? We see that there's very little help in terms of finances and funds for mental health. You know the issues with psychiatrists in Ghana and all that. We appeal to government to take a critical look. And just as the Parliament has actually come out to decriminalize suicide, there is a need for funds to come in for activists and for the state agencies themselves to be able to handle this case.
The CEO of the organization, Gloria Ando, shared her experience while encouraging others not to resort to ending their lives in times of difficulty.
So I lost my dad at a very young age. I was in SS. Trust me, I was very close to my dad, so it really got to me. I was at the point of taking my life. I attempted twice. At that moment of my life, I didn't find anything important again, because trust me, this is the man that was there for me. This is the man that taught me. This is the man that's, anytime I want anyone to talk to, he's there. You know, when they go like a daddy's girl, you understand what I mean. So I'm like, why not? Let me just follow this man. Fast forward, it didn't happen. I decided to turn my pain into a passion by being an advocate. A lot of young people go through this, and trust me, at the adolescent age and stage, you don't want to open up, you don't want to talk to your parents, you don't want to talk to your teachers, you don't want to even let your friends know what you're going through. I decided to do the suicide is not an option campaign by going to schools. So I've been to Achimota School, we've been to West Africa Secondary School, we've been to Accra Girls, we've been to Ashama Secondary School, we've been to Accra Wesley Grammar, we've been to a couple of schools and even churches to speak on this option, as in not suicide not being an option, basically. Because trust me, no matter what you go through, there's no need for you to take your life. And I use myself as an example. I became a better person, and I am a better person now, impacting my world, talking to the youth not to take their life. There's a lot of things ahead of you. All you need to go through the process. Sometimes it can be very painful. Sometimes it can be very, very, very hard. But trust me, the more you push, you will definitely get there. Anytime you think of taking your life, remember the story. That I was there before, and I made my life, better by impacting my world.
Now, some Ghanaian nationals, particularly students who have been affected by the conflict in Sudan. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration said although all of them are safe, the ministry is working for their safe evacuation. Countries have struggled to evacuate their citizens amid deadly clashes that have killed more than 400 people so far. With Sudan's main international airport closed, foreign countries have ordered their citizens to simply shelter in place until they can figure out evacuation plans. Diplomats and nationals from the UK, US, France and China are to be evacuated from Sudan by air as fighting there continues. A statement from the I beg your pardon, the Sudanese army has said. Now, Dr. Prosper Ninoti Ado is a security analyst working in Sudan and spoke to us earlier.
As you can see, and of course you've heard over the past 2 weeks or so, fighting is going on between the Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces. These two have been at each other for some time. They have troop strengths of about over 200,000 for the Sudan Armed Forces, and that of the RSF about 100,000. And so for these two armed groups to be fighting, so to speak, tells you of the intensity of the situation, the crisis that is beginning, to engulf the country, escalating to proportions which, if it continues, would really pose huge humanitarian, challenges to both people within Sudan and also perhaps, if we are not careful, for those who are also going across the borders, refugees and all that. And so it's a very difficult situation. You can be in the room and bullets are flying overhead or coming into your room and hitting you. And so it's a state of fluidity, a state of flux, and people are in very much need of humanitarian assistance.
And that's all for this package on Joy News Prime. I am Maame Esi Thompson. We're grateful for your company.